What's up everyone? The cast for Celebrity Big Brother Season 3 has officially been revealed, and of course we are here to talk all about it. But who is going to be heading into that house to betray, backstab and lie to one another to win $250,000? Only one person can do it, but we have 11 house guests to talk about, so welcome to your Celebrity Big Brother update. Alright folks, let's jump right in because the house guests are officially in the house now. That's right folks, they've moved in, they are already competing, and I'm sure the dynamics are starting to form and alliances have formed already, which is so exciting. But equally, I put on Twitter yesterday, I said, knowing that the house guests are in there and not being able to watch the feeds is torture for a Big Brother fan. I'm sure you will all agree with me. If you are a Big Brother fan, I wonder why you're watching this if not. But let's jump in and talk about who's actually going to be competing in Celebrity Big Brother Season 3. Now, the first house guest we have is Mr. Carson Kressley. Now, Carson, you might know off Queer Eye or RuPaul's Drag Race. He's done all sorts of reality shows. He's done Dancing with the Stars, The Apprentice, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. He's done a lot. He's no stranger to reality TV. Celebrity Big Brother is his next stint on his reality TV career list. I don't know that much of him. I'd heard of him, but I don't watch any of the shows that he's been on. So that's going to be interesting to see what he does, though, because for me the biggest draw was the fact that he is in his 50s. Now I know that's going to sound random, but y'all will know if you watch my channel that I always root for the older house guest. The thing I love about Celebrity Big Brother is the fact that we get a lot of older house guests. At least half of this cast is over the age of 50. I'm not saying 50 is old by any standards. I don't think it is, but for Big Brother standards, 50 is like 100. That means no offense to anyone, because it's just generally people are in their 20s. It's so great to see them getting people who are a bit more mature. Not necessarily mature, actually. This is Celebrity Big Brother, of course, but more people who've had life experience, and you know, they're not going there to get Instagram followers necessarily. So that's brilliant, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table. He's obviously going to be no stranger to drama, being on reality TV shows quite a lot. And what is interesting, I'll get to this later, but there's another house guest going in who Carson has worked with over the years, so that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see. I'm not going to get to that person just yet, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Carson can bring to the table. Looking forward to seeing him compete. Okay, now house guest number 2 is Saturday Night Live's very own Chris Kattan. Now, Chris was on Saturday Night Live back in the 1990s, from 96 to actually 2003, so about 20 years ago now. I'm just really ecstatic to see somebody from Saturday Night Live on there. I think initially when they dropped some hints beforehand, and Julie Chen was talking about how Julie Chen Moonves was talking about how one of these people is Saturday Night Live related, and the rumour mill started going, and I saw a lot of people saying Tracy Morgan, which would have been brilliant, and saw quite a lot of people saying Bobby Moynihan. I mean, there's a million Saturday Night Live people, but I think those two are the big names. And then Chris Kattan came up. I was very happy with that. I mean, anybody from Saturday Night Live I am quite ecstatic with. I think Saturday Night Live is a brilliant show, and 9 times out of 10 the castmates bring the entertainment, and I hope that he's going to do that again. It's a bit of an older house guest that I'm looking forward to seeing compete. A little bit of wisdom, a little bit of life experience. Can't wait for that. So Chris is one of my early favourites for sure. Let me know, folks, what you're thinking of Chris and Carson so far. Alright, moving on to number 3, we have another person named Chris and another 90s legend from the boy band NSYNC. It's Chris Kirkpatrick. I mean, that's quite a big get if you ask me. At one point, NSYNC were one of the biggest bands in the world in the 90s, and that's pretty awesome. I mean, it's a 90s legend. I mean, for me, I loved it when Mark McGrath went in on season 1, Mark McGrath from Sugar Ray. You know, he didn't play the game necessarily brilliant, but he just seemed like a really cool dude and just somebody who had quite a lot of stories and life experience. I would imagine Chris Kirkpatrick's going to be quite the same. I'm sure he's travelled all over the world with NSYNC and got lots and lots of stories. And do you know what? He'll probably have a level head and he'll want to play the game. I can't wait. I mean, the two Chris's are 2 of my early favourites for sure. That's huge. I mean, I know when the hints were going around, people were saying, oh, it's going to be someone from like the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or the Spice Girls, and then we got Chris from NSYNC. I mean, I'll take that. I mean, Chris Kirkpatrick, brilliant get from CBS. I know a lot of people love to complain about the cast. For me, what matters on Celebrity Big Brother is not necessarily if we know them or not. Yeah, it helps if we know them, but listen, if people are going to be there and they're going to play the game hard, that's really what I care about. That's what matters to me on a Big Brother season either way. If you can play the game hard, I mean, that's when I start to respect you. I mean, yes, I can respect someone if their personality is good and they bring the entertainment, but I mean, I think half the battle is playing the game well, and I've got respect for you, and I think Chris could do that, so I'm looking forward to seeing him play. House guest number 4 is a Real Housewife from Atlanta. It's Cynthia Bailey. Now, Cynthia has been on the Real Housewives of Atlanta since 2010, so she's been in the public eye for quite a while now. And she is actually, I found this out via Twitter, she's actually friends with Tamar Braxton and Kandi Burruss, who both competed on season 2 of Celebrity Big Brother. So that is going to be interesting. I'm sure she spoke to both of them beforehand. I'm curious to see if she took tips from either of those house guests and if she will actually implement those in the house, and who she's going to take advice from more, Tamar or Kandi. Because I think you could argue that both of them played a good game in each of their ways. Kandi's was a lot more kind of subtle and understated and a very well-worked social game. Tamar, in my opinion, I respect anybody who wins the game, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But for me, Tamar somehow got to the end. It was a minefield towards the end of Celebrity Big Brother season 2, and the bombs were getting dropped off every single place, left, right, and centre. And then Tamar happened to make the final 2, and you know, she happened to have played with her heart on her sleeve a bit more than Ricky did, so that's how she won the game. As I say, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Please don't come for me. I respect anybody else's opinion on however anyone else has played the game, or at least hear it out. But yeah, it's back to Cynthia. It's going to be interesting to see what she's going to do. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think she's probably going to play a Kandi kind of style game. Of course, I don't want to kind of just box her in as, you know, a Real Housewife and say she's going to play exactly the same as Kandi, but that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from her. Kandi was also on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, so I'm very, very excited to see what Cynthia does. I really liked Kandi, so looking forward to seeing Cynthia in the house. Now, our next house guest you have most likely heard of. He played for the Lakers, the LA Lakers. It is Lamar Odom. Now, this is going to be an interesting one because immediately, because of the basketball connection, of course, I thought of Metta World Peace immediately when Lamar came up, because I really liked Metta on season 1. You know, obviously he was a basketball player too, and He had a great personality and seemed like a nice dude, but he didn't play the game very well, and he kind of just seemed like he didn't want to be there. The problem is with Lamar is I've already seen, you know, in the clips where he's been talking, "Hi, I'm Lamar Odom, you might know me from this, yada, yada, yada." I've seen people who have already interviewed him kind of tweet out and say, Lamar doesn't seem to know what he's got himself into. He doesn't seem to know that he's actually competing on Big Brother. And, you know, I bet, my opinion, basically he's probably there for the paycheck. I'm sure a lot of them are, but I'm sure a lot of them are hiding it better. Lamar, I'm worried he's going to fizzle out just like Metta World Peace, because Metta kind of got to the point where he was just like, "Oh, I can't be bothered, please just vote me out." And there was going to be a great blindside on that night, and then he just kind of said, "Vote me out." I don't want that to happen again. Listen, I'm all for Lamar Odom. I think he's a legend, but I think, you know, he needs to be there to compete. Play, man. There's £250,000. It might be chump change to some of the house guests, but, you know, listen, there's £250,000 there. Sorry, not pounds. Listen, I need to go American for a second. Dollars. There's $250,000 at stake, Lamar. Compete. Don't fizzle out. Come on. This is my motivational speech to Lamar. He can't even hear me right now. He's in the house already. Compete. Moral of the story is, don't give up, compete. Alright, now our next house guest is Miesha Tate. She is best known for being a martial artist, and she competed in the UFC. She's a UFC fighter, and she won the Women's Bantamweight Championship. So she is going to dominate in physical challenges. I would imagine, I hate to make the comparisons to previous house guests, but you can't help but do it. I do it with Civilian Big Brother as well. I go, "Oh, I'm getting Dr. Will vibes off this person," or Danielle Reyes, like I said, for Tiffany last year. Miesha is giving me Lolo vibes. Not kind of Lolo as in going kind of, don't use the word crazy, but Lolo was a bit unhinged in the house. And Miesha is, but Lolo was also, she competed very, very well in competitions, and I think that Miesha's going to be the same. Physical comps, she's probably going to dominate them and probably win quite a lot of them. Putting the tag on her back, maybe there's the element of Natalie Eva Marie as well. You know, she was pretty good at comps as well. That is going to be an interesting one. Miesha is one of the younger house guests in her 30s. It's weird to say that one of the younger house guests is in their 30s, but usually the 30-year-old house guest is one of the older ones. There's one house guest in their 20s this season, which is crazy to me, but I kind of like that. I love older house guests. There's more wisdom, and, you know, and the thing about Celebrity Big Brother as well is it's like there's 2 evictions every single week. There's no time to kind of go backwards and forwards for a whole week and settle on what you were going to do in the first place. It's literally just, right, okay, we're making this move tonight. That move tomorrow, next person goes out the door then, bang, 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 bang. Love it. So good. It creates for much more kind of apprehensive and unpredictable gameplay. I would love if they did that on normal Big Brother in the summer, but they would double the house guests, so we'd still get the full summer long if we had like 30 odd house guests. I know it sounds like a lot, but that would be mega interesting if we had 32 house guests, 2 evictions every single week. Bring it on. That would be epic if you ask me. I'm looking forward to seeing Miesha in there. I'm sure she's going to dominate the physical comps and definitely put a target on her back and could be a strong contender to win the game. House guest number 7 is Mirai Nagasu. Now, she was a Winter Olympian twice, and she was an Olympic bronze medalist. I mean, it's always great to have an Olympian in the mix. It really kind of stirs things up when it comes to the competition, the physical competitions. Giving Miesha a run for her money potentially. Mirai seems really, really, really nice. That was the impression I got of her. She just seems like a really lovely person, somebody that anyone can get along with. And when you're on Big Brother, that can take you all the way to the end and win the game and get you all the jury votes. I truly believe she is. She's not necessarily my winner pick. I don't have a winner pick yet, but she is very close to being my winner pick when I eventually make one. It's going to be interesting to see her in there. She's going to be able to compete extremely well physically, win when she needs to. And then also, like what I said there, she seems very just down to earth and nice. Nice goes a long way in the Big Brother house. People will they'll gravitate towards you. They'll want you in their alliance. Being the youngest house guest as well, you know, and the only person in her 20s in the house, that's probably going to work to your advantage because, you know, people might underestimate you slightly. If it's an older group, people will kind of want to kind of compete for top dog. Seeing the 20-year-old, you can kind of just pluck them up and bring them in your alliance. She might not have to do a lot of work. As long as she maintains those social relationships, she can get to the end. Not saying she's going to float, but she can finesse those social relationships and play a very, very strong game. She's definitely one to watch. Shanna Moakler is our next house guest, and she is a former Miss USA, beauty pageant queen, reality TV star, model, etc. This is, I didn't know Shanna beforehand, but it's going to be interesting. You know, she's another older house guest in her 40s. That is not me calling 40-year-olds old. I don't believe that by any stretch of the imagination, nor 50s. Listen, right, I was 60. I mean, no offense when I talk this. I simply mean in Big Brother standards, 40 is older, because we always have a group full of 20-year-olds. I'm excited more than anything. I love this older kind of vibe that we're getting for this season. But yeah, Shanna, this is going to be an interesting one. It's hard for me to say what she's necessarily going to bring to the table. I would imagine, because again, I'm doing the comparisons because that's all we can do right now. Adriana Gutierrez, who was on season 1 of Celebrity Big Brother USA, she also was beauty queen. And she made it to the final 3, I believe, or was it 4? I think it was 4. Yeah, final 4. That will be, yeah. That's if she competes anything like her, then she's golden. She's gonna make it far. Being a bit older, maybe she's a little bit more outspoken, which I like a lot. I like people who kind of speak their mind, but you've got to be careful in the Big Brother house that you don't speak too much of your mind because that can put a target on your back. I'm looking forward to seeing Shanna compete. She is probably the wild card, in my opinion. Going to be unpredictable to see what she brings to the table. I do believe she could be somebody who brings the drama. I don't want to make any assumptions, but that's the assumption I'm making. Could be totally wrong, could be humbled, might have to eat crow, but I think she's probably going to be one of the ones who brings the drama. Okay, now house guest number 9 is self-proclaimed accountability coach, reality TV star extraordinaire and businesswoman from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Teddi Mellencamp. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Teddi, and I'm sure a lot of you probably want her to be the first boot. Teddy's probably going to be another one who might bring a little bit of drama, but she seems very kind of understated in a way. She seems very kind of level-headed, like she's gonna play hard. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing her play. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hyped. I think we've actually got a really good cast. I think initially when I saw it, I kind of thought, I mean, it's okay, but I mean, I think you've got to get past the fact that, you know, we're not gonna get total A-list celebrities. You know, we're not going to see Bruce Willis doing a backdoor on Oprah Winfrey as they, you know, create an alliance with Prince William. It's just not going to happen, as much as that would be incredible. We still know of these people, which is cool. You know, we get an awesome series when we don't know the people in Summer Big Brother, so seeing these people is pretty cool as well. Teddi could be, as I say, somebody who brings the drama, and certainly someone who I think could make it far. I think she is I think she could be quite calculated, and I say that in a nice way, not in a kind of conniving, nasty way. Conniving can be very helpful in Big Brother, so I do think that conniving and calculated side of Teddi could be very, very helpful to her in the game. Alright, now house guest number 10 is Todd Bridges. Now, Todd Bridges you may know from Different Strokes or Everybody Hates Chris. He's done quite a lot of acting work across the years, and I believe he is our oldest house guest at the age of 56. Now, Todd, I'm looking forward to. It's somebody who, you know, has been in the industry a long time, you know. Back in the 80s, I mean, I love that. I love, you know, probably the older the better in my opinion when it comes to kind of life experience and stories. I'm sure Todd's going to bring that. What does worry me though is the fact that with him being the oldest house guest, I know it's an old bunch, but tradition is on Big Brother, the oldest house guest is usually sent out the door quite early and ganged up on. And I know it's saying it might work in his favour because it's a bunch of older people, but he's still the oldest. I don't necessarily think that's going to come into play a lot. But it could. Who knows? Just something to chew on and think about. But I'm looking forward to seeing Todd. He's been in the industry a long time. And I would say you've got to have, you know, maintained good social relationships to stay in the industry a long time. But that's not necessarily the truth. I'm just excited to see him. If I'm being honest, it's hard to kind of predict. When you see an actor, you never know what they're going to bring because we're not used to seeing just them, you know. We're used to seeing them play a character. Again, that could work to your advantage. If you can play a character, if you can act out a relationship with someone, or fake the social bond that you've got with someone, then there you go. And I think I read something as well saying Todd was kind of, he's not there to make friends, he's there to win. That's what we like to hear. That is the attitude for Big Brother. Friends on top is a bonus, but you are there to win the money and win the title of Big Brother Champion. Celebrity Big Brother Champion. Come on, Todd, you've got this. I believe in you. Alright, now our final house guest is indeed somebody who was rumoured quite a lot. It is Todrick Hall. Now, Todrick seemed a lock for this series right after Big Brother 23 when everybody left the Big Brother house. He took the cookout in to his house and kind of hosted them for weeks. I think it was months, potentially even. So he will have definitely have spoken to Xavier, Hannah, Big D. Don't know if you're getting much advice off Big D. I'm blanking here. Tiffany, Kyland, and Arza. I'm pretty sure I said them all there. I did say Hannah, didn't I? Anyway, he's probably spoke to all the cookout. The main one being Tiffany, in my opinion. If he's spoken to Tiffany and got advice from her, I'm sure Tiffany has probably laid out a game plan for Todrick. I'm sure X has probably chipped in as well, you know, with him being the winner. But Tiffany was obviously the mastermind. She was the strategist of Big Brother 23. So Todrick, I'm hoping he has spoken to Tiffany. I said this in the cast speculation video. I hope he spoke to Tiffany and Tiffany has gave him advice. Listen to what Tiffany has said. Of course, adapt when you're in there. But if Tiffany's gave you any advice, take it from her. She knows how to play the game damn well. If there's another All-Star season on Big Brother, if there's a coach season, you bet Tiffany's coming back. So that is definitely somebody to take advice from. Todrick is the person I was talking about earlier when I was saying Carson has worked with someone. Todrick is that person, so that's a dynamic that's kind of already there. We saw, I think it was Marissa Jarrett-Winokur and Shannon Elizabeth knew one another. I think they were, they'd both been in Scary Movie back in I think it was the early 2000s, so they kind of knew each other straight away. But equally, I think they probably knew each other outside of there, so that bond kind of helped them first couple of weeks until the house turned on Shannon. Boo, didn't like that. Shannon's a legend. She must return one day, in my opinion. So if you've got that outside relationship like Carson and Todrick do, use it to your advantage rather than gunning for each other. I'm sure if they need to, they can probably throw dirt on one another because they know each other and they can kind of stir the pot a little bit, and they both seem like people who are going to bring drama. So that's going to be an interesting one. Todrick, if you all don't know him, I've been rambling on there about the cookout, but Todrick is famous for, I'm pretty sure he started out on YouTube and then he's been on RuPaul's Drag Race as well as a whole host of other shows. So yeah, that's our cast, folks. That's 11 house guests who are going to be competing on Celebrity Big Brother 3. That is all of your Celebrity Big Brother updates for today, folks. I thoroughly hope you all enjoyed watching and are excited to see the celebrities move in. I mean, they're in there already. That's exciting. But also torture, like I say, to know that they're in there and we can't watch the feeds is... Don't like that. Don't like that. I put it on my Twitter yesterday and I got quite a few likes on it. And we're all in it together, folks. We really want to know what's going on in that house right now, but... we have to wait until next week. February 2nd, folks, is the start date for premiere night. I'm sure we'll get feeds. Well, I hope we get feeds on the same night. And then we can start straight away, you know, speculating and talking about what's going to happen in the alliances. Oh, I just can't wait, folks. I'm so excited. Let me know I kind of got a bit carried away there. But you can't get too carried away with Big Brother. It's amazing. I'll just go on. Y'all know I love Big Brother so much. But, folks, I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on the cast. Who is your favourite? Who's your winner pick? Who do you think is going to be the best strategist? Who do you think is going to be first boot? Who do you think is going to bring the drama? Who's going to cry first? Who's going to have an argument first? There is so much to talk about. We're in that exciting period where the season's about to start and the hype is going up and up and up and up and not stopping. Folks, thank you so much for watching, but let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you're all staying safe, staying positive and staying healthy out there, and remember to be kind to one another. But folks, in the meantime, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. But until your next Celebrity Big Brother update, I've been your host Tom Vasey. Good night.